Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mom Connection.
Hi, everybody. This is Marlene. Happy Wednesday. So, it's a start to the week. How was your weekend, Erica?
Mine was very busy. We had birthday party on Saturday, sports tournament or soccer tournament all day yesterday. It was so hot. I am sunburned. My feet hurt. And then we had to walk like a mile from each field back and forth. So I'm just exhausted. I need lots of coffee today. How was your
How
weekend?
hot is it in Phoenix right now or over the weekend?
It was like, it wasn't even that hot. It was like 85 degrees. But sitting in the sun, it feels hot.
Yeah, I'm sure. Mine was busy too. We had Ava had a T-ball game, and then we had my mom's birthday and another birthday party, and then a get together at my husband's family's. So, usual, running up and down. You know how that goes.
I do.
So, today we wanted to go ahead and talk about how it all began for myself and Erica and give a little backstory, and then we'll go ahead and also be discussing age gaps because I have a huge age gap and Erica's is a little closer. So we'll just go ahead and compare how the pros and cons on age gaps and how it affects us actually.
Yeah. This is a
So
good
how did it all
topic.
begin for you? Yeah. How did it all begin for you, Erica? Tell us.
For me, well, I was 23. I had met somebody who I probably can't say his name because everybody will know it because it's not a common name. So I met this person and we're going to call him Michael just for fun. And I met Michael and I worked with him and I was very young and dumb and I was like in love right away. And we ended up having a baby and he was not the best. But then after we had Carmelo, he was born in 2012. We moved to Florida for a little bit, and then I ended up getting pregnant with Belly, and she was born in 2015. So they're only like 2.5 years apart. But he was the worst co-parent or parent or second person to have a child with. So I ended up leaving and moving to Phoenix, and I was a single mom for a little bit. And having two kids was definitely hard because they were so close in age, and I was by myself, and I was not close to my family at that point. So it was definitely hard. But we survived, and now we're in a good, healthy relationship that I'll talk about later. But yeah, they are 2.5 years apart. They fight like cats and dogs right now, but they still, I think, love each other, and I hope so. But
And
I don't have a big age gap.
why did Phoenix? Sorry, why
So,
Phoenix and not
no,
back
it's okay.
home?
So I really just hate being in El Paso. I just hate the weather. I hate the small town. I hated like everybody knowing my business out there. Like everything that we had gone through, everybody knew. And I just hated running into people and doing the whole small talk. Like, how are you? What's new? What have you been up to? Conversation that I hate having. And so I know it's so bad. And so I had a really close friend here, and I was like, I'm going to move to Arizona. And so they told me you could stay with us until you like get back on your feet. And so I did. So that's why I chose to come to Phoenix was because I felt like I could get a fresh start here instead of going back to El Paso where like everyone knew like all of my business and would be like, oh, you were with so and so with Michael and he did this, or he's still with this girl and he's doing this, this, and this. So I prefer to move myself out of all that history and start fresh. And that's what I did.
And tell everyone your business on a podcast instead.
And now I'm going to tell everyone my business on a podcast, which is way better than telling them. And then
It is.
them talking behind my back, though, without really knowing like what happened or like what I went through and like how I felt. Like now I can get to like share my story.
And it's true, and that's the best way to do it. El Paso is small. I don't think we realize how people say it's growing, and it has grown, but it is still a place where everybody knows everybody, or if you run into somebody, that person knows somebody. Like it's annoying at times, I think. And in Phoenix, I think you have so many little cities like Chandler and Tempe and all the other ones that you guys have, and you don't really bump into people.
Exactly. And I feel
Mesa,
like
you live in Mesa.
uh-huh. And I feel like for like a little bit it's okay because even if you do know someone, you moving to like a different city, you like stop seeing that person, like you won't run into them. And I live right outside of Phoenix, so it makes it easy for me to like not know anyone now in like our little city. Like I know people because I'm involved in like the kids' school and like I we only have one fries. Like everybody will see you here, but I feel that I like no one knows my history, so no one can really judge me. I mean, now if people listen to the podcast, they'll know, but which isn't good, but it's fine. No pasa nada. And no pasa nada. And they'll like it's still kind of like a fresh start for us, especially George. Like he didn't really like being in El Paso. He wanted like a new start, and I think him being here also helped like have like the fresh start he wanted as well. So I think it worked out for both of us.
That's good. And for those of you that don't know, George is Erica's husband.
Yes, George is. Oh, I think I mentioned that though, didn't I? Maybe not. Maybe I forgot.
Maybe. I don't know. Some people don't know George and Isaiah, so they might think like, I don't know.
True. They'll be like, whoa, who's George? Who's Isaiah? What do they do?
Yeah. And George, speaking of George didn't want any more kids. I know Carmelo and Bally aren't his. Well, he's raised them, of course, that they are like his, but he didn't want to have more
blood. You know what? He didn't. He doesn't at all. He grew up with his younger brother, and his younger brother and him are like 14 years apart, I think. And
oh wow,
or maybe 12. Yeah, they have a big age gap. And so George like helped his mom like with diapers and like feedings and like all of that. So he kind of had like the experience of like raising a kid. And so he was always in that mentality that like, no, I don't want one. For a while, we did think of like having another baby, but I thought of the age gap. Like I would think of Belly being 9 on Saturday and thinking of Carmelo being 12. Like it just seemed to be such a big age gap now for me that I don't think I could do it. I know you have a different experience and I know you have an age gap and you feel like it's the best, but I just think of me and I don't know. I feel like my kids would have an issue with it because they're so close to George and they know that he's not like their biological dad, that I feel like they would be kind of hurt. Like they would be like, you raised us. How are you not our dad? You know what I mean? Like they're so emotional, and maybe because Angel has a good relationship with his dad, it helps. But the fact that I don't, I feel like it makes it harder for them because I feel like they're going to be like, oh, why does the baby get to be with his dad all the time, but we don't, you know what I mean? So I think that kind of makes me not want one at all. Like I'm good with the two. We're good. And also if we have,
that's true.
exactly. And if we have a third baby, we would need to have two because we can't have a child riding alone at the rides at Disneyland. Like it just doesn't work that way. So we can't do that to that poor kid.
For those of you that don't know, Erica loves going to Disney. This girl goes to Disney more than anybody I know. So, of course, she would be like, how are we going to ride the rides?
Exactly. I mean, I will ride them by myself if they want, but then that like is not fun. I would rather ride with
And the
George or the
pictures,
kids.
and
Yeah,
the
like
pictures,
that
you'll be
one
alone.
kid. Yeah, that one kid will be like random. Like, why is that random kid there?
You're funny.
I
That's
know.
true, though. That's
Um,
true.
yeah. But tell me about your kids. How was the age gap for you?
My kids. Oh, it's a whole episode. Just kidding. Um, my kids. Um, Angel now is 16. When I got pregnant, I was 17, but I turned 18 through my pregnancy. So I had him at 18, straight out of high school. Everybody was partying, gonna go clubbing and doing all clubbing. Is that still a word? Going and doing all these things. And I was pregnant. So I kind of distanced myself from a lot of people from high school. And I didn't really talk to anybody because we were experiencing different things in life. I was about to become a mom, and people were becoming 18, getting ready to go to, legally allowed to go to clubs and stuff. So life changed for me. But I lived with my mom. She helped me a lot. I think I realize now how much she helped me. Back then, I just thought she was annoying, but no, she was really looking out for me and Angel. Me and Angel's dad were, I guess we can say he was my high school sweetheart, I guess. I don't know. We were on and off throughout all of my high school. And after Angel was born, we never got back together. Once I saw Angel, I was like, nothing else matters. So it was just me and Angel. And we were never together afterwards, and now we have the best relationship ever. Me and Angel's dad are great friends. He was at my wedding. He and I have a really great relationship, in all honesty. I'm so grateful for that. And then I met Isaiah, and I had my daughter, and Angel was 11. He was turning 11 years old when I had Ava. So they're about 11 years apart. And Joshy, my youngest, him and Angel are 14 years apart.
Dang.
So that's a big age gap. I know in my mind I tell myself that they're going to be close, but I know in all reality it's going to be hard. Angel's going to be going to college and Joshy's going to start pre-K. Like I can't kid myself, but Angel is the best help that I could ever ask for. Given my husband's profession, that he, his schedule changes or he's on call. Angel's always there to help me with the kids, so I can cook, so I can shower, so I can do whatever I need to. He is the biggest help ever. Not that it's fair to him because of responsibility. You know how sometimes it, like you said, George, that he took care of his younger sibling, it falls on them. But he's always like willing to help. Like he'll be like, Mom, like, do you want me to watch Ava? Do you want me to watch Joshy? So it's nice. It's hard. I think it's gonna be harder when they get older. Like I said, because Angel will be in college, not caring what Joshy
Yeah.
and Ava are doing. And, so it's scary.
But honestly, they might surprise you. They might have like an amazing relationship, and Angel may want to come home every weekend and spend time with Ava and Joshy. Like they might have like this amazing relationship and friendship as they get older.
I hope so. And that's why I do tell Angel one thing. Like if he's helping me with the kids, and they do something wrong or they break something, I'm like, don't get mad at them. Like come and tell me and I will get mad at them. I'm like, because I want them to see you as a safe space. Like you're not the one that's going to be disciplining them. You're not the one that's going to get mad at them. Let me and Isaiah do it. Because as they grow older, like if they don't want to tell me or Isaiah something, they can be like, oh, let me call my big brother. Like he'll know what to do. So I do tell Angel, do not get mad at them. Like come and tell me and I will get mad at them. But I tell him, I emphasize it. I'm like, I want you to be, someone that's there for them, not to discipline them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get that.
So yeah.
Would you have considered having like one more after Joshy just so you have the two
To
pairs
ride rides.
to ride rides?
I did. We did, but you know what? It's so hard with us in our situation. We don't have a lot of childcare, like while I work and while Isaiah works. So that's kind of what stopped us. In all honesty, I know a lot of people, like, their parents retire and their parents help them watch the kids. And I mean, I'm all okay with daycare, but I have the worst anxiety, which is a different episode. But I will not leave the kids in daycare. So we managed with Ava. We're figuring it out with Josh. So I think that's what stopped us from having a fourth. When I first met Isaiah, he wanted to have 6 kids.
Oh my goodness, Isaiah.
Yeah, but after the 2, he was kind of like, you know what? This is a lot harder than I thought.
He understood. He was like, you know what? Never mind. We're good. Does Isaiah have a big family? Is that what he wanted more?
No, actually, he has 2 sisters, so it's just him and his 2 sisters. So I don't know. I don't know. He wanted
just
to
wanted
have a lot of kids.
He wanted a soccer team, a baseball team, or something.
A team, yeah, a baseball team. That's what he wanted. But no, dude. After Joshy, I tied my tubes and I said, "Look, like, I'm not popping any more children out. You want more kids? Adopt a child. Go get a dog. I am not having more kids. Not for me." Dude, starting
It's
over
hard.
was a lot. From
I
the
bet.
difference from Angel to Ava was I forgot stuff. Even when I had Ava, I was scared. I felt like she was so fragile and I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. Even though I had Angel already, I was like, you have to remember my mom was in the picture most of the time to help me. This time I was living on my own, all on my own. Ava was mine 24/7. All the car seats, strollers, so many things that came out that I was like, what is this? Like, is it necessary? You know? So
It was literally
it was a big
like
change.
yeah, it was literally like you were having another kid, like a kid in like a
In a
different
different
era
decade.
yes, because of how many new things there are. Even now, like the little outlet bracelet and like all of that stuff. I'm like, dang, like I didn't even know of any of that stuff when the kids were born. Like now I wouldn't even know how to be
No,
a mom if I had to start.
dude. It was crazy. Yeah, adjusting to the difference, it was a lot, but they're good. I just hope they stay close, but I don't know, maybe Angel will surprise me. He's a sweet kid, so maybe.
He is.
I don't
He's
know.
a
It's
good
it's gonna
kid.
be until he meets a girl and a girl's taking up all his time. Then I'm gonna have a problem.
But you know what? I feel like it's okay. Like it's manageable for you to like have an age gap. Like it's fine. Like I feel like either be a great relationship or it'll be like just a regular brother sister bond. But I feel like if you like show the kids like, hey, like this is your little sister, even with the age gap, I feel like they'll still be able to have that good solid relationship, knowing that even though they have an age gap, that they still have someone that they can look up to. And Angel is a really good kid, so I feel like that'll be a good example for Ava and Joshy to look up to.
You're right. And I think about it too. I'm like, you know what? I know like a lot of people had a lot of comments to say when I was pregnant with Ava about the age gap, but I think about people that have siblings close in age and they're not even super close. Like like Isaiah and his 2 sisters, they're not far apart. They have a good relationship. They all get along, but they don't like if Isaiah has a problem, he won't call his sister and be like, what do I do? Me and my brother are 5 years apart. And then me and my sister are 10 years apart. And if I go through something, I'm like, I call my brother or my sister. And that's that we're 10 years apart. And I'll be like, oh my God, like this happened. Like, can you believe it? Like, what do I do or whatever? I'll vent to them. And Isaiah's not like that with his siblings. And I am like that with my siblings. How are you? Are you like that? Or that's why I'm like, is the age gap really a big deal on how close they are?
Honestly, I don't think so. Me and my sister are 5 years apart, and I feel like we're close, but I feel like I also don't run to her for like every problem. Like I feel like I have George and I run to George. Even like if George and I were to get in an argument, I kind of keep it to myself instead of telling anyone. You know what I mean? Like I don't really feel like I mean, sometimes
Go
I'll tell you
tell
like,
them.
he's annoying me or something, but if we have like a big problem, I don't feel like I go and tell anyone. And even with like other problems, I kind of just keep them to myself. I don't really feel like I go and tell my
You
sister.
vent?
Yeah, George has four other siblings. There's five of them. No, one, two, three, four. There's four of them. And his older sister, he is close to, but he doesn't vent to them a lot. He vents to the youngest one, like the one that has the bigger age gap between them. So I think it does. I don't feel like it matters about the age gap. Like, you're gonna have a bond with whoever you have a bond with, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, whatever. It's gonna be a bond if you choose to make that bond. And I feel like if they make an effort to like be there for each other, then they're going to have a good relationship, and they're going to want to have that bond and call them and be like, oh my gosh, guess what happened here? Or, let me tell you about my day, or something like that. You know, I feel like it depends on the type of bond that they want to have. They'll make that bond.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And it's true. I mean, like I said, I mean, even if they are close in age, it doesn't guarantee that they're going to be close. I mean, ideally.
Exactly.
But I don't know. There's people that that want the kids like back to back to back so that they can have like the diapers and the bottles like all like in one session, I guess you can say. Like, you know what I mean, right? Like within the same time period. But I'm like, that's tough. I give props to those people because I can't imagine having Josh and then like another little baby right now. Like it's like the two under two.
And I feel like a lot of people want that, but also now it's like it could be harder for them to get pregnant, which would cause a giant age gap too, right? Like they could have a baby and then want another one, but they can't have another one yet. And that would cause a big age gap too. And that's completely fine as well. Like, you never know if you have that ability to get pregnant right away, or you have to work a little bit harder.
Yeah, that's true. And we will talk about, you know, pregnancy and the complications with getting pregnant in another episode too, because that's a big topic and that's a struggle. You know, I don't think I mean, I got pregnant so fast, but there are people that, you know, want to have kids and they can't. And I think that's a very touchy subject.
We'll definitely have to touch base on that.
Yes, we will. I agree. But yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy how we got here, how we're here right now, and our kids, and just what they bring to us, and the age gaps, and the pros and the cons with it. I mean, each person will have their own relatable story with that. So if you are someone that, you know, thinks that it's easier to have kids close together, let us know why. Send us a DM. Tell us why you think that. We do want to touch back on this subject once we talk to some people and get their insights on it.
Yeah, definitely. I know for me, it's a lot. I feel like it would be easier if they were more years apart, just because they wouldn't fight about everything. But then again, like, I like that they're at school at the same time, because Ava and Joshy will be at school around the same time too, right?
Yeah, like right now, Ava gets off at 2:45, and then Angel gets off at 4:15.
Oh, dang.
So they get off on
But when
two
Ava
different.
is like in fourth grade, what grade will Joshy be in?
I don't know, girl.
How many years apart are Ava and Josh?
Ava's 5 and Josh is gonna be 2, so 3.
3. So then maybe he'll be like in first grade when she's going to fourth, or something like
That makes
that.
sense.
2, 3, 4. Yeah. But see, it'll be cool because you'll be able to have them at the same school for a little bit. Like right now at the kid's school, everybody knows Belly as Carmelo's little sister because he says he's the popular kid. So like,
Oh,
I like having that. But at the same time, like, I wish they were a little bit more apart so they wouldn't be at the same school at the same time. You know what I mean?
yeah. So Belly can kind of have her own identity, I guess you can say.
Yes, exactly. But
That
I would
makes
love to
sense. That
hear
makes sense.
other parents' perspectives and like what they think, and if they prefer to have a bigger age gap or a smaller age gap. I want to know what everybody
And
thinks.
why?
Why?
Yes, I agree. I agree. It's interesting to see people's perspectives. I mean, I would have thought that I wanted all my kids close together, honestly, but having them far apart, well, Angel, I wouldn't change it. I would not. So I agree. It's going to be interesting to hear your guys' perspectives on why you want to have your kids close together and maybe have them aged apart. Maybe it gives you that space to enjoy one at a time and not, you know, it's hard to enjoy them when they're all little because it's hard to divide your attention.
It is. It definitely is. Yeah,
I
let us
agree.
know your
So that would
thoughts.
be interesting. I agree. Well, that will conclude this episode. We really want to hear from everybody, so please feel free to DM us, or we have our email on there. Even if you want to let some advice or want to let us know what topics you want to hear about, please go ahead and send us a message, and we are more than happy to hear your suggestions.
Yes, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. We'll link it below. Everything. Send us your questions. If there's a topic you want to discuss, send it our way. We'll get to it. We have some topics in mind, but if you are like, oh my gosh, please put me on this episode, like I want to interview with you, tell us and we will interview you. We'll send you a microphone so you can interview with us. Or if you're local to El Paso, you can go interview with Marlene. If you're local to Phoenix, come interview with me. It'll be fun. I'll have drinks. I'll have margaritas.
Yeah. I'll have coffee. I don't know. It depends.
It depends on the time of the day.
Exactly. It hasn't a big date.
That's funny. Thank you so much for listening. I hope everyone has a great week. We look forward to our next episodes. Keep listening, share, follow, everything. Thank you for supporting us.
Yes, we'll talk to you all next week. Bye.
Bye.